Hey everyone, Dustin and Lydell here with Tilmor, and we're just going to have a conversation today about how to grow your small farm if you're beyond that stage or you're looking to get beyond the stage of less hand weeding, less labor in general. What are some tools that maybe Tilmor has to offer, and just some of those challenges. So we get that question quite a bit from market gardeners, tri-patch farmers, kind of the smaller commercial vegetable grower, and really we've got a lot of great tools for it. So I don't know, what do you think, Lydell?
Yeah, well, I think kind of getting at that core, one of the questions, as you mentioned, was, well, when am I ready for some Tilmor equipment, or what might be some signs or things that I'd be looking for? And I think one of the things that we oftentimes tell growers is, look where your labor's at, and labor that you want to become more efficient or utilize in different ways, or make the job just simply more fun. And so cultivation is one of those areas specifically, similarly like harvesting or planting or in the pack shed. There's a lot of areas that you can be looking at to improve or to become more efficient. But today we want to specifically focus on cultivation. And I think one of the areas that we look at is how to scale from that. I'm just hand weeding right now, or I have a tractor that I have some S-tines on. What can I do to improve, or how can I improve my cultivation game?
And we're around the PowerRox 240 today, so I think this is one where we've seen a lot of growers. I've talked to a lot that it's a husband and wife, and how are they going? They need to scale up, or they want to scale up, but how do they get there without adding more laborers on their payroll? And for them, it just wasn't an option. They just did not want to go that direction, and so the PowerRox was that solution for them. It actually reduced all their labor hours that the two of them even had on hand weeding. It allowed them to do on other aspects of the farm that they needed to do, and they were able to grow it substantially in the process. And so, that's from a cultivation aspect of it, the weeding aspect. They had to evolve their system. Their system had to evolve. So, you talk about systems a little bit.
So as Dustin was mentioning, as you look to evolve as an operation, you're going to be looking at, well, where does this fit into my system? And it won't fit in every system. And I think that's important to recognize that tools have a specific function, and the PowerRox, like other tools, can really fit well in certain areas, such as when you're doing more of your row crop type crops. So whether it be your brassicas, or your beans, or your corn, or even your lettuces, and some of your even carrots can fit in well. That's going to really fit well within that 15-inch row spacing or greater, so that you can run up and down, literally sometimes running up and down, cultivating each of those rows with the tools that you have on hand. Where it might not fit in very well is if you have that 30-inch raised bed and you're doing a really high density lettuce planting, or you're really trying to pack in some of those high density type crops and high value crops in a very tight area. This isn't going to really meet that need specifically, and you may still be doing hand weeding in that area. But as many times people are trying to do is they want to scale not only those crops, but also add other crops, and that's where this can really help you do that.
Yeah, so if you have the room to grow, like in land size, so if you don't have the room to grow and you're doing a high density system, that might be what you need to do. But if you have the room to add a little bit of acreage, to add some of those row crops, like this one couple I was talking about, they went from that raised bed system, and they slowly evolved that, or actually they pretty quickly evolved that because they knew they needed to be able to add in mechanized solutions for their weeding. And so, again, all the stages, you kind of have to figure that out, and that's where we always encourage you to call us if you have questions on that type of thing. So we're happy to provide kind of just a resource as a consultation, just conversation that we can help you develop in that process.
So one of the things, so what size of acreage would a PowerRox fit on? And specifically, sometimes we work with people that are doing an acre of vegetables or up. And so I know there's a couple of growers that are doing 5 acres, a couple that are doing 6, 7 acres. And some growers have multiple PowerRoxes, just it's the tool that they have. And I think also recognizing the ease of using the PowerRox specifically, or really a lot of the tools that we have, even our tractor, makes it easy for owners to be able to put a lot of different laborers or individuals to put them on and using the tool because they're so easy to engage and learn how to use. And so, yeah, I think that's one of the highlights is just recognizing that it can fit in any of those different scales, and you can get most really any of your individuals on your farm to be able to run it effectively and have fun doing it. I mean, let's just say that. Like, a lot of us are getting into farming and want to do farming because it's a lifestyle we want to have, but we also don't want to get burnt out. And so I think Tilmor can help us and it can maybe help you find what still gives you joy in farming, but not get burned about the things that really drain you.
And Lydell mentioned earlier, I think, find where your labor's at, find where your costs are, right? And speaking again, we talked to a lot of different growers, and talking with one, he's like, hey, if my cultivation machine, is using a lot of older equipment. He said, if my cultivation machine is down for just the afternoon, I can't get parts for something. He's like, and that cultivation window is very, very short. He's got to get people in really quickly to cultivate, to hand weed. And if he doesn't get people into hand weed, the cost of that does to them, you can plan for a lot, but as farmers we know you can't plan for a lot. And so you have to also be able to figure out how to, I have a lot of costs in labor there, or I don't maybe because I am partially mechanized, but if I lose that, what does that end up adding to my costs as well? So just different things to think about in context of how do you scale from where you currently are if you're looking to add a little bit of land. And the Power Ox and most of our tooling fits really well if you've got that ability to create that seed bed, a nice seed bed, and then after that, we have your time in your transplanting and your planting and cultivation and stuff. But that's where we really feel if you're at that stage and you're really wanting to rip out some of that labor or scale without adding labor costs, these are great tools to be able to do that. So.
Well, thank you for listening. And as Dustin said earlier, feel free to give us a call. Email us, message us on social media, whatever you do. We're here to listen. We're here to answer questions. We're here to help. Check us out on tilmor.com, and thank you. Have a great day.